Chapter 3. Nina. Dominick and I make small talk during lunch. He's easy to talk to and funny. I know he's handsome, but he doesn't exude arrogance or conceit. I feel at ease around him. There's no pressure. There's no fear. He looks at me like I'm a person that is wanting to take control of her life. He tells me what to expect at the range. We talk about different types of handguns. That seems to be his favorite thing to discuss. I can't wait to show you the different handguns. There's a twinkle in his eye when he says it. I've never seen someone light up over a gun before, but everyone has that one thing that they're passionate about. Mine happens to be books, but we can cross that bridge if we ever get there. I don't know what will happen after this firearm safety course. I may just go back to my workaday life, and he'll go back to his. On the way out of the diner, Dominick asked me, "Do you want to ride to the range with me? I can drop you back off at your car later." There's no harm except in a ride from him. We're going to the range just outside of town. Yes, I follow him to his big white jacked up truck. I probably should rethink my decision because I have no idea how I'm going to get up there without his help. As I'm walking up to it, my gaze goes from the ground to the bottom of the door. That is almost as tall as my head. As tall as he is, I don't see how he gets in the truck. So how is he expecting me to get in? I cover my mouth to stifle my laughter. "What?" Dominick asks. He opens the door for me. "I don't think I can get up there." I look from him to the cab of the truck. "I can help you, but I have to touch you, okay?" At least he's considering an ass before he just puts his hands on me. "Okay, what do you need me to do?" "Take hold of that grab bar. Ready? I have to touch your waist." He waits for my consent, then places his large hands on either side of my waist and lifts me up into the truck, making sure I'm comfortable and then shutting the door. He walks around to his side and just hops in like it's nothing. "You good?" "Yeah, I'm good." I put my seatbelt on and he starts the truck. He backs out of the parking spot and we head out on the highway to the range. About 15 minutes later, a metal building surrounded by a wrought iron fence comes into view. We pull through the gate and park. Dominick gets out and comes to my side of the truck to help me down. His hands are on my waist again. He sets me gently on my feet and closes the door. I follow him inside the building and he pauses as we enter the front door. This is the sales floor. As you can see, we have tons of guns and ammo. Back there through that door is the indoor gun range. I will show you that in a little while. Follow me and I will show you where you can leave your purse. We head to his office and he unlocks it. You can set your purse down. And do you have your ID to get you registered for the class? I pull my wallet out, grabbing my ID for him. He takes it from me. We head back out to the sales floor. "Chris, this is Nina Belton. Get her registered for the class on Saturday." He puts my ID on the counter for Chris. "Waive the fee for her. You still have to pay the government fees, but I won't charge you for the class." He looks from Chris to me. "You got it, boss," Chris says. Let's go check out some guns. There's a wall with pegs containing guns of all sizes. You always want to approach each weapon as if it's loaded. He pulls one from the wall, removes the empty magazine, and moves the slide back twice, leaving it open to show that the chamber is empty. He puts the gun down on the glass display case. "This is the gun Connie has, the Burst of Thunder 380. See how small it is? You can pick it up, but don't point it at anyone else." He picks it up and closes the slide and hands it to me. "You want to make sure that when you hold your gun, that you have a firm grip on the handle below the slide. That pinch point can get you. Some guns have something called a tang that looks like a horn that will block the webbing between your thumb and finger from getting caught in the slide. Some guns don't." I pick the gun up carefully and point it away from us. I'm holding it in my hand with my arm extended. Let me show you the proper way to hold it. Not like you see in the movies, single-handed or sideways as some of them portray. He walks around to my side of the counter and stands behind me. I can feel the heat from his body. As soon as he touches my hand, there's a jolt of electricity. I have to ignore it. This can't be happening. He adjusts the gun in my right hand making sure that my hand is firmly around the grip. Then he brings my left hand up to seat partially below my right. Left fingers wrapped around the right as my left palm holds the bottom of the grip on the left side of the gun. My right thumb rests on top of my left thumb on the left side of the gun. Don't ever put your finger on the trigger till you're ready to fire. He extends my right index finger on the outside of the gun below the slide. How does that feel in your hand? It feels comfortable to me. This one does fit nicely in the palm. It isn't too heavy. Maybe I can work with this one. Put it in your jeans pocket and see how it feels. I put the gun in my pocket, and he's right. It fit just fine. Hiding a gun in my skinny jeans might be a problem, but I will just have to wear a loose-fitting shirt. Cool. That one is small and discreet enough that I can carry it anywhere. We can get into the laws about carrying your gun later. This state has some very strict gun laws. I moved here about 10 years ago from Texas to take over this place, and it almost took an act of Congress to get licensed as a dealer and a gun owner. If it weren't for this being a family business, I would have stayed in Texas. So much easier to deal with there. I was born and raised in Texas, and my parents and sisters still live there. I just moved here to Aurora Vista about a year ago. My parents weren't happy when I packed up and moved. They thought I was crazy to leave everyone and everything I knew behind. Now I kind of wonder. Hey, you can't second guess the decision to move here. Unfortunately, bad things happen all the time. But that doesn't mean you have to stop living your life for fear of what could happen. I can't imagine what you went through, and I think you're going to come out of this on the other side just fine. This tragedy doesn't define you. You're stronger than you give yourself credit for. Enough of that. Let's go fire this thing. He grabs a box of ammo, a loader, eye and ear protection for both of us, and leads us to the indoor firing range. He is right. I could still be crying over this. I'm not going to let this one bad thing pull me under and keep me down. In the firing range, it is quiet for the moment. He places the gun pointed down range, ammo and loader, on the table in front of the shooting lane we're standing in. Did you bring a bandana? Yes. I pull it out of my pocket. Fold it in half diagonally and tie the ends at the back of your neck. You'll see why. I do as he says. Put these on. He hands me the protective eyeglasses. He hands me the earmuffs, but I don't put them over my ears because he has more to explain. He picks up the gun and shows me where the magazine release button is. I take it in my hands and press the button. The empty clip slips out and I set the gun back on the table. He then shows me how to load the clip with the small handheld loader. This one holds 10 rounds. If you're in a pinch, that should be enough rounds to take someone out. The more ammo I load, the harder it is to push the spring down the clip. I wouldn't want to do this by hand. Once I'm done with loading it, Dominick goes over some more rules before I load the clip in the gun. Where do you point the muzzle of the gun? Downrange. Before I allow you to put the magazine in, let's go over the safety features of this gun. There is a slide-mounted manual safety and decocker that disengages the firing pin. Until you're familiar with the gun, I would say use the slide safety only. He points to a switch on the side and to the hammer at the back of the gun. It requires 9 pounds of pressure to engage the trigger on your first shot. It will take a while to engage the trigger on your first shot. It is a double action, then single action semi-automatic. After the first shot, the hammer is cocked and the pressure drops down to about 3 pounds and you can fire multiple rounds quickly. In a few seconds, I will let you put the magazine in. You want to make sure that it clicks into place and then you can rack it. You move the slide back to place the bullet in the chamber. I really don't want to screw this up, and this is making me super nervous knowing that there will be live ammo in the gun. I'm listening to everything he's saying, but the closer I get to actually handling the gun is freaking me out more. I probably look like a deer caught in the headlights. Don't worry, I'll walk you through this, and as long as you listen to me, then you'll be fine. Keep the muzzle downrange, the handle firmly gripped in your hands, and we will have nothing to worry about. I've had people lose control of their weapon and point the gun in all different directions back here. Don't be that person, okay? He presses a button, and the target holder comes toward us. He hangs a new paper target up and sends it back down the range. In that moment, I realize things are about to get real. Aim for center mass. He puts his earmuffs over his ears, and I copy him. My hands are shaking so bad right now. Other than holding this gun in the lobby, I've never held a gun or fired one. This will be a definite first. He motions for me to step up to the table where the gun and clip are resting, waiting for me to marry the two together and get this show on the road. If I didn't have butterflies in my gut before, they've decided to swarm as my nervous hands pick up the pistol with my right hand, pointing the gun downrange as instructed, and picking up the clip with my left. I insert the clip in the handle and smack it in place. Hopefully I did it right. I pull back on the slide. Dominick puts a finger up and removes his earmuffs, and I copy him and says, "Watch out for hot brass." What? I pull the earmuffs away from my ears. I'm curious now what he means by that. You'll see. He smiles and takes a step back from the table. He taps me on the shoulder. Make sure your feet are shoulder width apart and knees slightly bent, not locked. Your stance needs to be controlled. One last thing, don't close your eyes. Some people tend to do that. I do as he says and put my earmuffs back on. Here we go. It feels like it takes forever for the first round. And wouldn't you know it, hot brass shells come flying at me. Thank goodness he suggested the hat and the bandana. The shell hit the bill of my hat. I fire off the remaining rounds and shells are going up and to the right, raining down, bouncing off the gray partition onto my hat, arms, and shirt. The bandana is there to protect my chest and neck, preventing hot shells from falling down into the collar of my shirt. After the final shot, the chamber hangs open and I put it on the table and take my earmuffs down. Dominick is smiling. He takes his earmuffs down too. How do you feel? Good. The first shot is a little scary. I see now why you said to wear a hat and a bandana. Those shells are hot. Let's check your target. He presses the button and sure enough, I hit center mass with most of my shots. I'm shocked at my accuracy, but it could be the firearm as well. There was hardly any kick, and I used the little sights to line up the target. I'm impressed, Nina. For the first timer, you did really well. Your grouping is excellent, and you hit the center mass. Thank you. I think I like this gun, and Connie told me you were an excellent teacher. The control you showed is not something I can teach. That was all you. I have no doubt you will be a proficient marksman, or do you prefer markswoman, whatever. He laughs, which makes me laugh. Don't worry, I'm not some ultra-feminist. Marksman is fine with me, but all I care about is being able to protect myself. You're well on your way. You want to fire a few more rounds? My afternoon with Dominick is helping me to realize that I can do this, that I'm good at it, that I deserve to be safe in my own house. There won't be any V words in my house.